morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Nick, and today we're going to be going through the best moments of episode 2 of Miss Marvel. Let's crack straight into it. Now, as usual, I'm going to go through all these moments from the episode. I'm not emergency awesome, so I'm not going to be going through 1 to 10 as if like 10 being not the best and number 1 being the most amazing moment from the episode. It's just going to be 10 moments in random locations, and so yeah, let's get straight into it. So first moment I'm gonna take you through, number 10. So in this one, basically so Kamala's trying to find out about the bangle that she's got on her wrists, and basically after hearing a story from her dad, she calls up her nan to ask about the bangle, because apparently what's going on is the bangle belonged to a woman called Aisha, who is her great grandmother, who basically just disappeared off the face of the earth. So she calls up her nan and starts asking her about the bangle, and she obviously tells her the bangle belonged to the grandmother Aisha and she disappeared, etc. But when she was asking about her, she was also, telling her she can't talk about her, your mum was very upset about it, etc. So what basically happens then is, the dad's coming up the stairs, and Kamala jumps and quickly hides under her bed because she doesn't want them to know that she's got the bangle still. And because they think at this point that it's still locked up in the attic, which it isn't. And so basically what happens is she jumps under the covers, pretending she's going to sleep because she's tired. And the dad says, okay, sorry for bothering you. And then when she goes back to the phone, the nan is obviously hung up. So then what it leads Kamala to do is she goes to her mum. Now, if you watched episode 1, you can clearly tell the mum is not the kind of person that is going to, be very open about things in her past. So she basically tries to ask her about Aisha and stuff, and basically all the mum really says is she's like, she put shame on the entire family, and basically says to her, just let it go. Obviously Kamala's not gonna let it go, but yeah, that's number 10, guys. In number 9, so my number 9 best scene is it kind of goes through they're out on the street, and then it turns out it's actually an Eid celebration, which I thought was really good, and they really incorporated the whole Islamic culture in this episode. I was very disappointed with the amount of the Muslim culture that they really showed in the episode, and it almost to me felt like they weren't real Muslims. So I was really happy with the level of Islamic heritage they showed in this episode. There's even one scene that showed in the mosque as well, so I'll get to that. That's one of my other moments. But yeah, so it's like they're in the street. It's like a street festival for celebrating Eid. They're out there, and basically what happens is, while she's out there, she starts questioning her aunties about Aisha, and because basically there's a lot, Muslim Islamic families, there's the big families, so there's a lot of aunties, and she starts going through every one of them, trying to question them, because they're basically supposed to be the chatterboxes of the groups, and she's the one that's they're the ones that will gossip about anything. So when she's asking them about her, they start all exaggerating all of the stories about her, and each one's got a different story. It's almost like what's happening is each one of them's making up their own interpretation of what really happened, and then basically the scene gets cut short because there's some mishap with a boy, which I will get into next. So if you remember the post-credits scene from the first episode, the two agents, the two DODC agents, basically, they have called in Zoe now. Zoe is the girl that Kamala saved in the first episode, and they've called her in to question her now about the parameters of her saving, if you will. And they're like asking her up and down all these questions. And you'll remember that the male agent that is there, he's actually the one that was questioning Peter Parker in No Way Home. So there's a little Easter egg for you if you didn't know that. So basically, they start questioning her up and down, and it doesn't take them long to pinpoint the ethnicity of her hero, and they realize that it's a South Asian hero. And they start saying, look around, and he tells the woman to look around in the mosque and stuff, and he's like, but be discreet and stuff. But yeah, that's the next best moment. I think that one's number 8. Number 7. So we're back in the school. This is like early in the episode, and Zoe's like in the classroom, and she's obviously like got all these people surrounding her, kissing her butt because she didn't die. And basically what she's going around doing is making up all these stories about what happened, basically chatting shit, making it up as she goes along. And yeah, Kamala walks in, and she's not very happy about the whole situation. But then what happens is is the introduction of Kamala's love interest. Is a character called Cameron, and basically he comes in and Zoe's like, oh yeah, I'm having a party, and starts inviting him, and you can see in Kamala's face she is pissed about that, and literally Zoe just starts hitting on him straight away. Number 6 or 7, you know, I've lost count. I'm gonna stop doing it in numbers. I'm just gonna tell you the best parts. The next part is so there's a scene where her and Bruno are on the rooftop, and obviously she's now trying to practice to use her abilities, and he's got like an iPad, a tablet kind of thing. It's obviously scanning her whole body so he can try and figure out where this power is coming from. And basically, obviously, like the viewer, they assume the power is coming from the bracelet, but it turns out it's actually emanating from within Kamala, because like I've seen a lot of theories out there is that basically when she puts this bracelet on, they think that she went through Terrigenesis by having that bracelet on her. So yeah, it would explain why the power is coming within her. And there's actually a cool Easter egg in the scene. So like she's trying to walk on in the air by creating these like kind of crystallized platforms, and it's like she's about to fall down a wall. The wall is like not that much taller than her, and it's basically, if you remember the scene in Endgame where Black Widow was like to Hawkeye, let me go, she's like saying that, so it's kind of a callback to Endgame. Some would argue it's in poor taste because it's meant to be funny in the episode, but in the movie it's not funny, so you could argue it is in poor taste. My next favorite scene is actually in the mosque, like I mentioned before. So there's a scene where her and her best friend are running late to get to mosque, and then they get into the mosque and they show them all praying. Then they have the imam talking and everything. If you don't know what an imam is, because you're not familiar with Islamic culture, an imam is basically the Muslim version of a priest, if you will. So like, you know, a priest or the pastor. So pastor if you're Christian, you know, priest if you're Catholic, and if you're Muslim it's the imam. And so basically he's speaking as you do when you go to mosque, and basically Kamala interrupts him with, you know, some nonsense thing she talks about. I can't remember. It's not really important to the episode, but it just made me laugh because like I said in the previous video, I have, you know, grown up around a lot of Muslim boys and girls, and for the life of me, I don't know a single Muslim girl that in mosque would interrupt the imam. No way, no how. I don't know. You'd have to be one confident girl to do so, a confident boy to do so, you know. But yeah, that was a favorite moment, mainly because they incorporated, you know, the Islamic culture really quickly in this episode, and I think they obviously must have known that in episode 1 it was really lacking. And for me, I found that as a bit of a disappointment because her character is meant to be a Muslim, so you have to showcase, you know, her religion, her heritage, and I felt in episode 1 I didn't really showcase it, but episode 2, you know, they made up for that straight away. And I just hope that they, you know, they continue to show her heritage throughout the season so people, you know, get to know her character. Because if we're about to get to know what it's like to be a teenage Muslim girl, you have to show what it's like to be a Muslim too. Can't just show her what it's like to be a girl, because we've seen that story before. Another scene, this scene, it was a bit cringy for me, but I put it in there because I'm sure there'll probably be some younger people who will probably enjoy it. Younger girls will probably enjoy it. So they're at the party, Zoe's party, and obviously the police gate crash it and all running out, and Cameron, basically, he's there, you know, he's there and he offers to drive Kamala home, which obviously she loves. And basically when they're in the car, they start talking about their favorite Bollywood movies and stuff, and obviously you can see that Cameron and Kamala are really starting to bond now, and you can see straight away Bruno does not like it one bit. Bruno looks so pissed. He tries to interfere with the conversation, say, oh yeah, he likes that film too, but it's not happening. And Cameron gives Kamala his number and stuff, and then he drops them off home. When she goes into their house, she literally starts dancing around the house. She's all happy and everything. It's quite easy, but I know that, you know, young girls would like it. They're gonna find it interesting. And the last one. So basically, when at the Eid celebrations, remember I told you there was an incident with a boy. So when she's questioning the aunties about Aisha, what actually happens is there's a boy like in a tall building. I don't know what he's doing in there, and basically he falls out the window, is hanging, and then basically Kamala quickly runs and puts her Captain Marvel suit on. I don't know where she had this suit hiding, but you know, she put it on, and basically she gets up there, uses her powers, and actually able to save the boy. And basically he's on one of the crystal kind of platforms that she's made, and asked him to jump off to her. In the process of that happening, Kamala basically gets a villain. gets a vision, and basically what this vision is, she's seeing her great grandmother, which means that this bracelet is connected to her, you know, so it's very interesting. And then basically the boy's about to fall, and he starts falling off the plinth. I don't know what happens to it, and then as he's falling down, it looks like he's about to fall to his death. She throws loads more, kind of softening his fall, and then he just about hits a car beneath it. But this basically turns out he's just hurt his ankle. But that leads it in to the final moment of the episode, and probably the biggest moment of the episode. So it cuts to her in the alleyway. Obviously she's about to take the costume off, but just before she starts doing that, these drones start showing up, and they're from the DODC, the two agents from the post credits in the last game. And then basically what happens is they're all there, all the agents are there, and they're trying to capture her, and she's trying to get away. She gets away from a little bit, and then the car pulls up, and it's Cameron. And she jumps in the car, and she's sitting there, and she's taking her mask, and she's like, and then she hears someone say, Kamala. And she turns around, and they didn't say who it was, but I am convinced it's the great grandmother Aisha. And he's like, I'd like you to meet my mom. Which is just like, it's a bomb drop moment, and it's made me look forward to the next episode. So guys, that was my best moments from episode 2. So in reviewing the episode, I'm not gonna make this too long. I would say the beginning of the episode for me was really cheesy. It was like a scene when she's going through school and is like overconfident as not Kamala in the slightest. But yeah, I found it really cheesy. I guess some people will find it quirky or whatever. I found it cheesy. But excluding that, I thought the episode was such an upgrade from the first episode. If I was to grade the first episode, I'd probably give it a 1 out of 10. And this episode, I'll definitely give it between a 6 and a 7. It was so much better. I found this one watchable. The first episode was so unwatchable, and as far as I was concerned, as far as watching the rest of the season, I was going to judge it on this episode. If this episode showed potential where the show looked like it's going to get better, then I would continue it. And it did, and I'm going to continue watching this, which means there's going to be more best moment videos. So I hope you guys will stick around for that. But yeah, it's a great episode. If you haven't seen it, you're on the fence, you're not too sure after seeing the first episode, I would suggest go watch this episode. If you do like it, then keep tuned for the third episode. It's a good show. It's not as great as everyone's making it. Everyone's saying it's the best MCU TV show. It's not. It's not even close. It's not even close to that, but it is a good show. If you are a fan from the comics or the games of Kamala Khan, you have to give it a go. See if you like it. I think I don't want to give it a rating as a show, but I would say episode 2 is 1,000 times better than the first one. It's so much better in so many ways, from the incorporation of her Islamic heritage, from the writing, the storytelling. It's so much better. I'm liking this Cameron and Bruno conflict that's going to come. We all know how he's going to play out. Cameron's going to do something or die, and her and Bruno will end up together. That's how it's going to go. It always does in these TV shows, but it's going to be very interesting to see that love triangle blossom. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment and share. It really helps the channel so much, and I will see you guys in the next video. As always, live long and prosper, man. Take care.